Hi, it's Nick Carlile from Platinum Portfolio Builder, and today I want to talk about probably the hottest topic in UK property at the moment, the government's Help to Buy scheme. Now, the first part of this was brought in some time ago, and it was a loan from the government which allowed people to buy new build property with a 20% loan from the government, effectively giving them 95% deposits. Now, the second part was brought forward recently by the Prime Minister, brought forward by 3 months, and this is the mortgage guarantee scheme. Now, similarly, this means that buyers can buy property of less than £600,000 on all properties, not just new build, with just a 5% deposit. And this is open to all buyers, not just first time buyers, to those mortgage prisoners, so people who may have struggled to move because they got negative equity, and it's allowing a whole raft of people to get onto the property market that may not have been able to. Now, it's not available to buy-to-let landlords, it's not available to foreign buyers with no credit history, and it's not available on second homes, but it's essentially a £12 billion scheme which is effectively underwriting £130 billion of mortgages which are government backed. Now, they're trying to instill some good credit practices within the lending that they're offering, so there's no interest only, it's not available to people with bad credit, and there's no certified mortgages. So we're not going back to the heady days of 2003, 4, 5, where banks were basically throwing money at people and not checking people's earnings and lending higher than necessary multiples of up to 7 times people's income. Lots of banks have already been confirmed, so Lloyds and RBS have got products out in this. Virgin, HSB, Aldermore have said that they'll be into the market later this year, and most of the banks have expressed an interest in being in. And we've seen some good fixed rates at 4.99 for 5 years, low arrangement fees of sort of £1,000 and less. Now, the key question, there's lots of good stuff around this, but the key question is whether it's going to lead to another boom, another spike in prices that is essentially unsustainable, and many critics of the scheme say that is what's going to happen. Now, the best counter to this, there are other economists and other analysts that say that it won't do that, but the best counter to it creating a housing boom is for the government to incentivise the building of more homes. So many ministers are talking about the relaxation of planning laws and incentivising builders to actually build more, and particularly where we invest in South Yorkshire and the surrounding area, I've started to notice more and more builders who are starting to build on those sites that have been left dormant for some time. Now, it still doesn't deal with a fundamental shortage of housing, but if they deal with that fundamental shortage by relaxation on planning laws and incentivising builders to build more, then we may not get the boom that many critics are predicting. One other thing that the government can do, and they've talked about doing, is having the ability to tweak the scheme. So at the moment it's available on properties of 600,000 or less. The main aim of the scheme is to try and get people on the housing ladder outside of London and the South East, and so they've talked about capping that price, adjusting that price to properties less than 300,000. So we've yet to see the full extent of it. One thing that is absolutely certain about the Help to Buy scheme is it is adding more confidence into the market. It will put more people onto the property ladder, and ultimately, as property investors, that should be a good thing. But the inevitable boom and bust culture that we've lived in for the last 70, 80, 90, 100 years, I believe is here to stay. And it's how you take advantage of those property market cycles, buying at the right time, buying the right kind of stuff, mitigating the risk of a boom and bust culture by buying with a discount and a good strong yield, will make sure that you can still profit whatever the market is doing and whatever the market does in the future. Thanks for listening.